scene is one of the most colorful, one of the most Parisian corners in all of Paris. For many years, a mecca for tourists. The bustling produce market in the heart of the city, Lecocq. The year is 1795, shortly after the triumphant outcome of the French Revolution, the stunning victory for liberté and égalité. Because of recent political developments, equally dramatic, stunning, unforeseen, that have taken place in other parts of Europe in recent months. Developments that have been so hard on a confirmed pessimist. It is quite possible that an opportunistic, sensation-hungry director, snatching for relevance, would shift the locale from Paris to Prague, to Warsaw, to Bucharest, the year to 1990. Pocket opera would never dream of depriving its audience of the pleasure of finding its own connections. And besides, we have a feeling that the year 1995 would be a more realistic appraisal. For when our story unfolds, the glow of freedom has chilled somewhat. The fire has started to give off smoke. Heady intoxication has yielded to the morning after sensations that so frequently follow strong drink. The times are queasy and unsettled. Disarray has spawned a host of questionable characters who have managed to gravitate to the center of power. Among them, the predatory financier Larivaudière, the dazzling though unscrupulous actress Angélique Lange, who has such a penchant for men of influence. Would that her acting ability were confined to the stage. Higher, mightier than both, the formidable Barras, director of the new government. Unlike the other two, he does not deign to appear in tonight's performance. One would as soon ask the Ayatollah to do a patter song. Leave that to Ange Pitou, a satirical songwriter who does not have to look far for material. He is not alone in his discovery that the principal joy of democracy is the pleasure of saying what's wrong with the government. Ever more frequently, one even hears a call for the return of the bad old days, when things maybe were not so bad. Now, understandably, new governments are sensitive. They're touchy, easily upset. They don't like being criticized any more than you and I. The solution is obvious. Lock up the critics. How else can freedom be preserved? But let's not talk about politics. Today, there is much to celebrate. Over here, we see a sign that reads, Pomponnet Hairdresser, closed for wedding. Over here, Claret Florist, closed for wedding. Alert minds can form their own conclusions. It is a glorious spring morning, a holiday for all. The street is brightened with the smiling faces of the market's folk, all out in their finest array, all overjoyed at the wedding that in fact is soon to be performed. The bride is exquisite, the groom ecstatic. In short, it looks like the perfect ending of an operetta. We go indoors for Act Two, to the sumptuous, if somewhat over-decorated salon of Angelique Lange, the glamorous actress whose life would appear so many-faceted, whose rapid ascent to the heights of fame, wealth, and power has taken Paris by storm. The outspoken song that landed Clarette in jail has already made indelicate reference to her superb balancing act between Barras, who controls the government, and La Rivaudière, who controls the purse strings, simultaneously mistress of both. But a girl has to ask herself, is this enough? What if her heart still hungers for romance, adventure, novelty? You will recall that Ange Pitou, our romantic hero, has received an anonymous note from an unknown admirer inviting him to an intimate rendezvous, a note to which he was more responsive than one would have hoped. Fortunately, there is little likelihood that Clarette will find out. As the sultry actress smolders in restless anticipation of his arrival, several of her fashionable friends try to console her for the outrage so recently inflicted upon her by an apparently demented young girl singing in the street. As they give vent to their indignation, some may marvel at the striking resemblance between these elegant ladies and the lowly women of the marketplace. You forget that the revolution has wiped out these petty distinctions.